waiting
There is. Hi, PC.
for you. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, bro. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm good. I'm doing good. How's quarantine treating you?
Can you speak a bit louder? I don't hear you that clear.
How's quarantine going for you?
Quarantine's great, bro. I mean, I'm at home after like 15 years, so it's very good. Feels very
True, true.
new. And how's it going with you?
It's kind of tiring now, but yeah, it's good. I'm with my family, spending time with them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Even Rashwant and Sneha, many of our old friends are here, I think.
yeah, that's good. So how's what are you doing? How are you spending time?
I'm doing a lot of fitness. I'm doing a keto diet. I'm trying out the keto diet to see how I work, how the body is working without any carbohydrates, recommended by our very own Vishnuana. Vishnuana didn't
Uh,
recommend keto, but well, that's what I call keto because he said no rice and no chapati. I tried vegan also. I'm trying meat
yeah,
also. So I trying different things in that process. It's been 1 month now. Yesterday, it's 1 month since I started it. So very happy with how much I've learned about my body with the way of eating, and also I'm training the fitness quite hard. So it's been an enjoyable process now. I have something to focus on, and I have the drive to do something. So I like it.
great, great. How do you feel your body is responding to
It's
this
responding
particular
much
diet?
very fast. It feels like I've already been on vegan for many years because it's just adapting so fast. And when I asked Vishnu about it, he said a very valid point that thousands of years back that's what we grew up eating. So that's already in your
Yeah,
DNA, and your body will adapt very fast to it, and that's how it was. I also started burning the fat around my belly very fast, and now the fat burning process is very slow because the body is into panic mode and it wants to reserve fat for energy, so it's not going to shell out that as much as it did in the beginning of the month. So
true,
now
true.
I think it's going to take a longer process to burn how much I burnt the first 2 weeks.
Great,
But
great.
it's more about fat and looking. I think I feel much better when I train. I feel more energetic, and I don't crave food that much anymore. So
Yeah.
pretty happy.
You'll have to test this out on court and see how your body responds to it on court.
I think it
I
will
think
because I'm doing intervals at 3 in the afternoon in Chennai. So, and then if those
yeah,
interval workouts are not hurting me, I don't think a tennis match will either. So, I mean,
that,
it's
great.
literally 10 seconds
That's really
sprinting and doing shuttle run in the sun, and I'm still fine. So,
that's good. So as long as your body is responding to it and you feel good about yourself, you should stick to it. That's what I
yeah,
feel.
yeah, definitely. I think so.
Yeah. And are you able to play a little bit of tennis by any chance? Like
No, no, I
anything
haven't
else?
been able to. It's been ages. I stepped out to the main road also. I haven't
Okay.
been able to play tennis, but
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
True, true. And where are you now? Are you in
I'm
Bangalore
in
or
Chennai.
Chennai? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Getting to spend time with your family and it's
Yes, Vijay
very
is
happy.
also here. Hi, partner. Me and Vijay were supposed to play doubles in 2020, and that look what happened.
Yeah, actually followed one of your results in
And
I think
Swati Priya is your
May last
brother's
year.
wife, right? PC's wife, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong. Hi, Swati. I'm sorry I couldn't attend your wedding, but the pics were lovely, and I wish both of you a very happy married life. And Vijay is saying, yes, we will resume. Hopefully, partner.
Yeah. 2021.
2021.
Yeah. Both partners actually. Yeah, I mean I played doubles with Vijayana and we
Yeah,
done pretty
yeah.
well.
Right.
future circuit.
Vijay, my coach is actually okay for me to play some doubles now, so hopefully we can.
Yeah.
But hopefully you don't retire by then, because it's already what you're just a bit over
He,
25, I think.
even though he's 33, he still acts as if he's 25, so he's not going to retire for the next 5 years.
He's as fit as 21. All right, so
So,
heading to the questions, who's asking you? You asking me first, or I go first?
yeah, I have a few questions for you. So I'll
Yeah, go
start
for
off.
it. I think you should go ahead first. I've asked the people a lot of questions on Insta Live already, so time my
Yeah.
answers now.
So I have seen you from the juniors career. Like I mean, I've seen you practice, and we've trained together at RRC. And
Yeah,
I know that you haven't played a lot of junior circuit, and
yeah.
you made your transition right into the future circuit.
Hmm.
So what was your thought process behind that particular move, in which you didn't believe
I
in
mean,
playing the future?
it was just a very random decision because there was no one to guide and all at that point of time. Like the people I have now, I didn't know Vijay or anybody to even ask what to do. So, and the choice was very obvious because I had like a reserve of big pool of money that I could attempt one shot at tennis, so that I can play 3 years, 4 years of professional tennis, even though I make zero money. And then after that, I'm left without that money, and I have to either I make it or I don't make it. If I didn't make it, I had to move on to other fields or whatever. So that's how much my family had. So I could give it one shot for like 3 4 years. How many couple of lakhs or maybe even whatever. So the thing is, then the question came whether I am going to take that shot at juniors and get zero prize money of it, or am I going to take it at 22, 23 to travel the world, give it a shot till, let's say, start at 20, give it a shot till like 24 and see if I do it or don't do it. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, that just made more sense. So I started out by playing futures in India, which my dad can afford with his salary itself. He doesn't have to sell something to make me play. So
Yeah.
so it just made sense. And Sabi is here. Hi Sabi, Mahek. Hi Mahek, Vandana, everyone. Hi Vijay. Yes, please ask your question. Type it down.
And and yeah, that's actually a very bold move because
No,
you
I don't think I had a choice because in juniors, if you want to play full on juniors, to play Osaka, you have to play Osaka Mayor's Bowl, and then the summer in Europe, and then the South American swing. If you want to make top 20 or top 10 and actually get sponsors or get those wildcards into those ATPs, and another thing I forgot to mention was I was not good enough at that time. So I don't think I would have even made top 10 because I started peaking at 18, 19, when actually I started winning those futures, and that's when the game came in. At 15, 16, 17, I think I was very average. I was losing qualies in futures. So I don't even think, even if I traveled that much, I would have actually made it as a big junior. Because, you remember how I looked, right? My body was still very immature and I couldn't last one set at that level, and the serve was still not at all there. It's not like a Sumit Nagal or even you that you guys were way fitter than me when you guys were 15, 16 already, so you could compete at the futures at 17 already. But I didn't have that. I had the timing and everything, but the physicality was below zero. So yeah, I didn't have much of a choice. Neither you don't have the guarantee of making it, plus you don't have money later on to play. It just didn't make sense to go. So I kind of was just forced to do what I did.
but it's
Not a
good that
choice
it
and all.
actually worked out for you. It worked out for you pretty well, and you were able to crack the futures pretty quickly and go up the ladder pretty fast. So that's very good. And yeah, and coming to the next question.
Yeah,
So you were around. I still remember this time we were having this discussion in Leonia. You were around 800, 900 at that time, and you were keen on playing the challengers. You wanted to make that move at that time itself, like around 800, 900. You wanted to take more chance in the challengers, move up the
yeah,
ladder as quickly as possible.
yeah.
So and you mixed up your tournaments pretty well as well. and it's clicked for you.
Well, I didn't because I just had the initiative at the time. Sadly, I started working with Gonzalo after that, and Spanish coaches, they have a different way of thinking. They are like, win like 5 futures first and then we can go to challenges. They don't take chances like someone like Martin. Martin, if he sees the game and you're 2000 in the world, he'll be like, let's go play in ATP. But that's not how Spanish coaches think. Like, even if you have the game to win a Grand Slam, if you're 2000, they'll say you play futures, you prove your way, then we'll go. So then that got restricted a bit. But to answer your question, what gave me that initiative to go play at the higher level, right? So this, I think, was in my DNA very young, because that time itself I used to tell my mom when I play under 10 and under 12. So for me, the rule was, if I win a tournament, let's say under 12, I'll tell her, like, I'm not going to play another under 12 tournament. That's over for me. So now we go under 14. I remember I telling her this, that I won a Super Series in Jamshedpur, or if I make like finals, or if I take out one top 5 player, that level is done for me. I don't look to play another one even when I was 12 years old. And then at the age of 11, I won under 14 Asian ranking, or 12, I was just turning 12. I said no more under 14. So straight away, let's go under 16. Then in under 16, I was losing qualies for many days and months also. I was losing qualies first round, second round. I didn't get results, but I don't bother. For me, that once the tournament is won, that chapter is over. So that attitude just carried on for later on in my life. Like, then in under 16, then in under 18, I played it. Then I said, okay, men's, now I won a futures. Then I said, okay, challengers. Now I made challenger finals in Bautau. I went straight away to Stockholm and Moscow to sign in the ATP. And that's how I think. That's how I look at life. Like, when one is done, I don't go back to defend it. I try and go to the next level, because I feel I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's just the way I look at life. And thankfully, Martin supports it. Martin is very, very mind thinking that way, that he also thinks the same way, that he doesn't care about small results. Or in between, I became a bit pessimistic. I got into this black hole of defending points, and oh shit, I made 6 points there, and that's one regret. Actually, my mom and Mahi also was talking to me the other day that you lost your track a bit in between the 17 and 16 to 18. I actually forgot who I was originally from deep inside. I was trying to play those easy tournaments, but then I got back to track later on, and then I came back to originally who I was, and then
It actually, even I feel it depends from an athlete to athlete on how they think and how they plan on moving forward. And you chose an aggressive way to move forward. Like, you just kept eliminating stuff which you felt you were better at.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to go up the ladder, and that's very good. And I think that has helped you push yourself even better. You keep
and I don't think
better
this can be taken as a reference to anybody else. I think everybody is different. When somebody is low on confidence as a player, maybe he needs a few more titles at one level to really believe that he's there. But whereas the confidence part, when I was younger, at least now it might be a problem sometimes, but when I was younger, it was never a problem. If I beat one guy, I was like, I'm the king. Anyway, when I enter the court, that's how I enter. Now, these days, I don't. I'm trying to bring back that mentality, what I had when I was much younger. But those days, that was the case. So, if I beat one guy, I'm like, I'm beating all these guys. I'm good enough. I don't think like, this is one-off day. Beating one guy doesn't mean... Now, if I beat a top 10 player, if I beat the number one, it's like, okay, that category, nobody else... I can beat anyone on a best day. That's how I used to think when I was 13, 14. Until it came to futures. So when Vijay is asking a question. Vijay is asking a question. Let's just answer that. In current tennis for an 18-year-old, which aspect comes first? Physical or mental? Physically means like fitness or tennis-wise?
Both. I think it's off court and on court. How you bring the off-court fitness to
I
on-court?
think I'm gonna take a lot of backlash for this question, and many of them may not agree, but when many of them say tennis is a mental sport, it depends a lot on the mind, they make a mistake with segregating the majority of it. It is not a mental sport. I think it depends a lot on skill. But this is something that only some people look at it, and those people have actually made it. It's wrong when I think you would have heard some coaches say many times, Novak's ground strokes and your ground strokes are the same, or any top player is the same. The mental is the difference. No, it's not. Novak's backhand and my backhand are not the same. The way the ball leaves the racket, Novak's is different, and he can keep it up for longer. The accuracy is different. Where it lands, it's different. And how low he is before hitting the backhand is different. So you can be as mentally strong as you want. You're not beating Roger at his best. You can be the mentally strongest athlete in the world. So I think putting mental and physical 50-50 is wrong in tennis. I think until a stage, it's only physical in tennis. You can be mentally weak and still win the tournament if you're good enough. If you beat everybody 60-63, then why do you need the mental side? So mental comes only at a part where everybody are on paper as good as you, and that starts, I think, from 100 onwards, in my opinion. Because even if you see guys like 170, 180, one ground stroke is shaky somewhere. Not everybody. It's very rare that one guy hits everything super clean and he's 180 only because of his temperament. That's one or two examples. But in majority, if you see something or the other is a down glitch. Serve is missing, or forehand is missing, or backhand is missing, something or the other. To a guy who's 70 or 80 in the world, right? So it doesn't have much to do with mental in that case. So I think physical and tennis for an 18-year-old is more important, because that's gonna help him much more than mentally being stronger or whatever. And I think Alexander Zverev is very weak mentally, but what is his ranking? 5, no? Not bad. I mean,
yes.
But why? Because he's a phenomenal player. But he's probably mentally weaker than the both of us. After losing one set to somebody top 50, he cracks 2 rackets. But so what? But most of the time people don't return his serve. But I know that many people disagree with me, but I think a very small percentage goes into mental till a very high level in sport.
True. Even I after what you spoke, I agree with you that skill plays a very important part.
It
You
plays
need
a
to
very
know.
important part, because if I play, somebody like Vishnu, for example, today, in a forehand cross-court rally, I am beating him though he's mentally stronger and 10 more years experience to me, because he just can't hit forehands at my level. How does it matter how mentally strong or weak I am? My nervous system is going to do the job. I stay there, my skill level is just good enough to beat him in a forehand cross-court rally, or anybody who has a shakier forehand. The mental part comes into play only when me and him have the same forehand. Then it comes, okay, who stays in the rally longer, who puts that extra spin, who thinks that extra this thing, and that's different. But for a guy who's 300, I think it's an excuse when he says, I have the game, but it's just mentally I struggle. No, I don't think he has the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And after a point, I feel you need to be physically strong as well, because that's how,
100%.
even though you're
And
mentally
I
strong.
think physique leads to mental strength. When you can do 10 400s under 1 minute, I don't see a reason why you can't be confident that you'll last the third set. So your body gives a lot of mental strength. So that leads to it. And self-belief comes from how good your ground strokes are. If you really feel like, okay, there's no way I can miss this forehand, and you have so much confidence in your spin, then you believe in your forehand more automatically.
Yeah. These three aspects complement each other.
Yes.
It needs to go hand in hand for a player to crack the top 100 or be
And
the best
Vijay,
version of himself.
correct. And Vijay's second question, to be consistent, to keep more balls in, what's the most important? Feet, tactics, mind, technique. Name the order. Question for both. First is technique. Second is feet. Mind and tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. It's technique, feet, mind, and tactics.
Yeah.
So, and Vijayana wanted me to answer the previous question,
Yeah,
which
go for
is
it.
physical or a mental aspect for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
As you told, now I understand that psychology plays a very important part. So I feel as long as you're physically fit, you're mentally fit. You know that okay, I can last there, I can do stuff. I am fitter than that
Yeah.
guy. I can put one ball extra because I'm physically fitter.
Yeah.
So I
And the
I
thing
would
is,
also
the mental click happens so fast. You beat one, you have the game, you beat one top 10 guy, you're gonna feel like I'm there. And then, 1 week back you would have been low on confidence. The next week you'll be a completely different player.
yes.
But you need the game
So
for that. That's all.
yeah. So I feel these three aspects go hand in hand and they need to complement each other for you to be play well on court. So yeah, that's the thing. And there's one more question. Okay, no, that's about it. So
Yeah.
you
So
have any questions for me?
that's all your questions with me.
No, no, I have more. So
Go for it.
we
I'll
can.
answer all of them first, and then I'll ask you yours.
Okay, perfect. So around last year, start of last year, you were
Yeah.
hovering around 350 in the rankings for like
Yeah.
quite some time, 3 4 months, I guess.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the year, you cracked top 50 and you finished at your career high around 220.
Yeah.
So, what aspect of the game did you change, either mentally, physically, or game wise? What have you worked on which helped you crack top 250?
All round. The first change that happened in my life when I went to Austria was periodization and consistency in work. Before that, it was, yeah, if Vijay and Prajnesh are there in Chennai, it's 2 weeks of world class training. Then nobody is there. 1 week of nothing. So
Mm,
that changed when I went to Austria. So it is like day after day after day after day, it is 100% training physically. So, and there's not, yeah, I think the year I finished 270, I think 2018 when I made those quarters and all, because after that I'm a completely different player now. Because when I started with Martin, I couldn't slice, I couldn't volley, I couldn't put two volleys in, and now I volley like a top 100 player. So you can't even compare both years because the development has been very holistic. But the first major change I made was the forehand, because the forehand was always the shakier part of my game. My backhand was always solid, but forehand was
yeah,
letting me down in the most crucial points because for whatever reason it was not the same quality. So that changed first. I had started a longer follow through like Dominic PM and to finish with the elbow up, and that gave me
yeah,
so much more security. That costed me a lot of matches. I lost to Dhruv Sunish in Bhubaneswar, then Saki in Kolkata. I couldn't put two forehands in, but that was a investment I made. And then when my forehand started getting more and more secure, my game changed a lot. I didn't was not scared to hit the forehand anymore. I was feeling much more secure, saying like, okay, if I hit this, it's going there. Started controlling the
yeah,
trajectory of the ball. That was the first major change that happened. And Martin, after I went with him, physically I transformed a lot. No, I became from only playing aggressive tennis to actually a fit athlete. I look like an athlete now. When somebody sees me from a distance, they say, okay, it's a tennis player there, which was not there before going to him. I think it was just very deformed. It's just like one tall structure standing and there's fat in all the wrong places, and now I look like an athlete when somebody sees me. So that was the biggest change. So I started defending better. I started lasting more in the third set matches, and all those things. It played a big role. The development was very holistic. I think there's not one particular aspect I say, because the thing is I worked for one whole year. There was not one day of 2030, 2018 where I wasted. Because Martin
yeah,
always tells me that the day you lose a match and then you take a day off the next day, even if you lose 30 matches, there's 60 days of no training in a a year
Yeah.
when you're growing up. So the day I lost, we used to train for 3 more hours after the match. Like right after, we go do shuttle runs, then start playing.
Yeah.
So the day and the next day morning I'm on court at 7. So from February 10th I started with him till December 31st I was working every day. So and was hitting thousands of balls. So that development was just very on a whole, which gave
Yeah,
me that.
it was very visible when I saw you play last year in the Pune Challenges. I could see like a lot of improvement with you physically and game wise. You were striking the ball much harder at the time. Everything was good. So that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
know. Like what changed in you when after you started working with Martin and in the last 4 months when you cracked top 250. So yeah, so
So
as you told, the holistic approach worked for you, where you work on every single aspect of the game.
yeah, every single aspect, whatever stone we could turn. Because when I went, my forehand was shit, my volleys were shit. Serve, no, there was only a few directions that I could serve really well, and now I can volley well, slice well, move around the court, return much better. And before I was returning only from the back, so I started returning from inside. So no, it was a much. We just improved on every aspect that we could put our hands on.
Yeah, and that's very good. And good you were you stuck to your thing with Martin, and it's really worked for you. That's about it.
Yeah, I did get distracted at times. I think, no, 2018, I was believing in him much more. That was a lesson that we both learned, and he also tells it. In 2019, because expectations got the better of me, because that time when we entered challenges, it was, no, to win a round was great. So if he tells 5-all in the third set tiebreak 7 volley, I was just doing it blindly because I didn't give a shit if I lost or won. Whereas 2019, already goals and pressure, it started mounting on me. Slam qualies. I put it myself, not blaming anybody for it. But I was not trusting in the process that blindly. 2018, if he says, okay, this second serve return, I want you to smack it, I smack it. That's all. There's no second thought whether it's going to the fence or it's going to the center court. That is why I produced so many results so fast. That was the one main thing why I could just dominate everybody, because I was playing so aggressive. And 2019, that 5% doubt started to come when I played. The points and everything, it started mounting, and things were just not the same again for a brief period. I think otherwise I could have cracked 150 easily had I gone with the same attitude.
Yeah. The trust and the belief with the coach is very important in this.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to the next one. I've
Yeah.
asked this question previously to Ramanna, and I feel every athlete has his own opinion on this. So the question is, there are certain situations, certain matches where you're
Yeah.
being completely outplayed by the opponent, where even though you're playing well, you're not able to do stuff. And there are certain
Yeah.
days where you're underperforming and you're not playing to your potential.
Yeah.
So how should a player, or no, how do you react personally, emotionally, and mentally?
To when somebody plays much better than you and when you play like shit.
Yeah,
So, first thing we'll take when you play like shit, no, because it's a longer conversation. So
yeah,
when you play bad, there's two things that you need to look at. How did you play bad, right? So there is, if somebody is serving, second serve, you have a break point or set point. You go there choking, hardly, barely you contact it, the ball flies out, and
yeah,
it's a shit miss. Or you go there with full belief, you keep your hands loose, and you hit it, with loose hands, with good intent. You aim the middle, it goes to the fence, right?
yeah,
So both are bad days. No, in both you put the return out. But of course, how you feel after the match depends a lot on your attitude, on how you approach the bad day. Can you say that, okay, no matter what happens, can I stick to my process in the match? Then you don't put 2 balls on the court. Of course, then your regret is much less. But then if you have
yeah,
a bad day, plus you try and force try and force yourself to play good, and then it's even worse because the more you force things, the more shit it feels on a bad day. At least if you keep swinging, you lose the first set 6-love. There's a good chance in the second set you might find your rhythm back. It's happened many times that you just keep swinging, and then suddenly you find. But if you keep choking, it'll be over 1-on-1, and you'll not know where the match went.
True.
So that changes a lot when you on a bad day. That how you lost plays a big role. And when somebody comes out there and smokes you, there's nothing much you can do actually. You have to see why he smoked you. Did you let him smoke you, or he smoked you no matter what you did? Sometimes you may be playing good, but you must have been playing wrong. You might have been playing exactly to his comfort zone. To Tatsuma Ito, if you keep playing to his backhand, I think it's going to be very tough to beat him, whoever plays him. So you have to play to his forehand, even though, even Novak played Ito in Australian Open, and even he had a game plan. It's not like it's somebody 100 in the world, so I don't care where I play. So world number 1 also comes for a guy who ranked 115 in the world with a specific plan in his mind that, okay, this guy's forehand is shaky, so I'm going more there. So that's where Novak was mostly playing, although he smoked him 1-1, 1-1-2 or something. I'm not saying he would have beaten Novak if Novak played to his backhand, but it makes things tougher for him. So the same way, there's two things what you need to look at. When somebody smokes you or plays out of his ass, you have to see, did you let him play? But if the answer is, are you letting him play, then try to change it. But if not, whatever you did, he played better, then he just played better.
So in the second topic which we spoke on, when he's playing much better than you, you're still in the match, and you're going close. You have a chance, but he's always one up. How do you react mentally?
See, one
How should
thing.
your attitude be on?
One thing you have to accept, that if you have to tell yourself very clearly that if this guy can play this well for 2 sets without a break, he shouldn't be playing against me in this tournament right now. So that's one thing you need to clearly have in mind instead of panicking. So in your case, in the futures, and we all know how good you play, right? So you can actually play. So on a day that you're playing well, if somebody is smoking you, it's 6-3, 1-love for him, you serving. If that guy can keep that up for 2 sets, he shouldn't be playing a futures. And in my case, the same thing. If somebody is smoking me 6-2, 1-love, he shouldn't be in a challenger. He should be at least when I'm playing good. When I'm missing everything, that's a different story. But when you're playing normal tennis and somebody is smoking you, so there's a very high chance that at one point in the match he's going to slug. Because that is the reason why he's with you in the tournament. So that technically means you and him are the same level. So it can't be technically possible that he can play 2 sets or 3 sets the same level exactly to beat you. That's 1 in 10 matches. If that happens, one of those days. But normally it's not the case. There is always at one point. But the problem what players do is, even I have done that, I have felt it. When I played Dakili in Bangkok, I was playing out of my ass that tournament. I lost to Popko, I played like shit, but I think if I played the same, I would win the challenger without dropping a set. That's how good I was playing. I beat Lorenzi also 2-2 the round after. But then, I told my coach after, at 4-2, the guy didn't put one more ball in. He started smacking everything to the fence because he started feeling so much pressure that he felt he needed to do something extra to stop me from hitting. And he started overdoing his game style. And then things became very easy for me. It was 2-love after that. But I asked my coach, why not he just keep doing the same thing? Maybe at 3-2, Bangkok is so hot, I might get tired. At 4-2, I might have a slug. I might do something bad. And my coach said, it's the case with most of the guys. That's why Roger, sometimes he just races through the match because the first 2, 3, 4 games he plays tuck and people start panicking. So that's one quality of holding yourself. You need to learn for a higher level to hold your ground there and give him the challenge to do that for 2 sets. So let him out-hit you, let him, hit those winners, and let's see what happens. So I remember, if Ducky was my close friend or, he was my player, that's what I would tell him. I know he's on fire, he's 4-2 up right now, but so what? It's only 25 minutes into the match, right? So let him do that for one more hour, and then if he does it, yeah, clap and come out. But let's see if he does it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you need to be very clear when somebody is outplaying you. You need to be like, okay, you are outplaying, but let's see, you're still in the futures, bro. I mean,
Yeah. Mukund, just give me a second. Just a second.
yeah, sure. By the time, let's say hi to everyone. Hi, Karman. Hi, Manish. Kaza. All big players, dude.
So, yeah, coming to my last question.
Yeah,
So, knowing the fact that you had the financial backing,
yeah,
okay, there are two situations which would have happened in this particular scenario where you have the financial backing, but a player lacks motivation, or you have the
yeah.
financial backing and he feels the pressure of having too much money and not being able to, what do you say, use it the right way.
Slug it out.
So, can
Yeah.
you just differentiate on these two things and talk?
See, motivation. I don't think it matters with the bank balance you have. You know that way Prajnesh had close to 1,000 crores and you are still slugging it out, and you can still
Yeah.
have zero money and still be not motivated. Like we know many guys. We know I'm not going to name them, but we know many middle class guys who waste their money and who are zero responsible. So the
Mm.
financial backing you have or the money you have, that way Federer has 500 million now, no, and he still works his ass off in 5 set matches and fights for every damn point. So that has got nothing to do with your motivation. It's two different subjects. Motivation comes from the passion, how much you love the sport and how much you want to excel in it. Second thing, how to spend the money, having the money, that requires guidance. I think that India has to do better, and that it needs some introspection, at least in this country. That if someone
Mm.
can start even an online portal to tell you where to spend money, that would be good.
Like a
Actually,
financial planner, you're saying.
yes, yes, that is essential.
Yeah.
Because
And
for me also, I feel I wasted no in too many places. You know, if somebody could help me spot one coach or one this thing from the age of 16, it would have been much easier. If Martin, even for example, if somebody could Martin and all is a chance encounter. No, it could easily be if I didn't go to the coffee shop that day. It could easily be that I'm not training with Martin today. So that should
yeah,
not be like destiny can't control a player's life. I think it should be that someone knows Martin and they should be recommending it to those guys who they feel are talented. So that's kind of lacking in our country, and someone should take an initiative to do that.
true, very true. Like
Like an
you need
agency
someone
or
to guide
something.
you
I
through
think
the initial process.
someone can invest in a sports agency right now or something like that to connect coaches and players, which doesn't take much effort. You know, somebody like me who has even traveled and knows a lot of coaches can get like 10, 15 coaches under his thing and do that. That would actually be a good plan because me also, I've visited so many academies in my life, which is half of them was a waste of money and time. I'm not saying it's a waste because I was playing tennis every day, so it can't be a waste. I must have learned something, but I'm saying I could have also learned better if I had concentrated it into a small thing.
Yeah. So
So
that's it.
yeah,
You need someone to the guide you on how you can find the right coach with the right with the budget you
yes,
have.
yes. I think that
So
that is not
that's
something that for me it was chance. You know, the whole journey because mom was always there with me and I was very lucky when the Spanish Federation chose me in that year of 2012. See, most of it is luck if you see. Like even that selection, I just simply went, read the news from someone and just went for the selection. The head coach, actually any foreigner is not supposed to be joined in the group. It was 10 players, but yeah, they were short of one. They said, okay, I like this kid, so take him. What if he said, I don't like this kid? So, like that, luck can't play a role. In my life, I was just lucky to make many right decisions. But I don't think it should be luck, it should be planning.
Yeah.
and then we can have more Mukunds in the making, because then it is like the same opportunities I had, 10 more guys will have, and then there'll be 10 more Mukund Sasikumar. Whether it's good or
Yeah.
bad, it's still 270 is not top 10, but at least we'll have like 5 guys 200 at my level at least, which is still
Right.
something better than nothing.
Yeah. So very, very true. And thanks, Mukund. I'm done with my questions.
Yeah, it was pleasure
And
answering all great questions.
you answered pretty
Srinath.
much
Yeah, I
everything
do,
over
I
there.
do. I have a few questions for you.
And actually,
Like,
there's one question which Kaza wants me to answer before we get into your questions.
who?
Best group of players you like to travel with? For me, it's
Ah,
yeah, for sure. It's the combination of Vijayanna and Kaza together because they are the best combination to be with. And
because
I
Kaza
also
gets
like traveling
tested
with
every
players.
day half the time. So,
So it's I like players who watch football and talk football. So I like traveling with players who watch and talk football. Yes.
Kaza saying
So and yeah.
looking sharp, Mukund. No, learning from you, Kaza.
So yeah, and I'm done with my questions. Mukund. Thanks for
Yeah,
answering.
okay. Super. So yeah, I think I even asked you this question earlier on, and even you didn't play juniors for a long time, and you started playing the futures very early in your career. And what was the difference when you first started playing futures, and then when expectations creeped on you, and you were not a junior anymore, and it was not okay to lose in men's anymore, and you actually had to start winning, and it was time to start winning. How was
Yeah.
it mentally for you?
For me, at that point of time, I there were a lot of things happening with me, my game, and mentally. Right
Yeah,
after juniors, I still wasn't mature enough to understand the situation, the coaching style. My brother was trying to tell me what he
yeah.
wants me to do. I still wasn't mature enough, so I was, and I had a lot of technical faults as well.
Mm.
So it took me quite some time to actually figure out on how I should how much technically sound I need to be, and
Yeah.
then it took me a lot of time to understand what my brother was actually trying to tell me during the practice sessions, and
Yeah.
the maturity to me with regards to tennis came quite late. So it took me quite a few matches, quite a few losses in the start
But
of the
just one
futures career
question, why did you have to understand what he was trying to do? Why couldn't you just do it without understanding?
because uh, he had his own way of telling stuff, which is and I was understanding it. I was trying to do it, but which is
So the
actually not right.
communication wasn't the right way, you mean?
Exactly.
Like
Not, there was
he couldn't put his vision into words
yeah.
from your
Basically the
side, your
communication
point of
was
view.
yeah. The communication was very bad between in the junior days between me and my brother. I just wouldn't talk on court. He would just keep telling me stuff. I would try to do it, but not do it, and not explain it that I'm not able to do it. So these were the
Hmm.
situations I was facing, and technically also I wasn't sound. So I'm getting a lot better now. It's much smoother with regards to communicating and working together. So hopefully
Yeah.
in the coming few months, in the coming few years, I'll be doing much better than what I've been doing before.
No, I mean, I think you've been doing a good job. You've not lost track. You're hanging in there, and results are just around the corner. You didn't lose your way like many others did. I think losing your way, if you do it, then it's much tougher to come back. But you're not lost your way. You're there.
Yeah.
So that is good. And what coming? How? What was different in the transition tour? How did that affect you? Did you mentally start panicking, or was it fine?
Uh, Frankly speaking, I wasn't really affected by the transition tour
Yeah,
because I was in the bracket of getting entries, getting a direct main draw into tournaments, and being able to
yeah,
play the futures.
okay,
So I was in that position, and the only hitch I had was I couldn't really take chances and challenges. I wanted to at that
yeah,
point of time because I had my doubles ranking at around 480, 480 something. So and
yeah,
I got into I just wanted to make sure I can just take a few chances and challenges when I'm playing the futures. Like when I play 3 tournaments in China and in the next week there's a challenger in China. I just wanted to go and sign in and see how I could do that, how I could
Yeah.
be in that particular situation. So for me personally, it didn't affect in the transition tour, but for a lot of players it did. But yeah,
Okay,
I
and
felt it was a very bad thing which happened at that point of time.
okay, the third question, it's actually not a question, but we both have played in a lot of the shit clay courts on the planet, right? I don't think there's any more worse clay courts anywhere. So the bad bounces are
Yeah.
there in the early years of our practicing, and for me, that gave a great sense of timing. Like every time I could adjust to the ball really well. Did that make a difference to you as well uh, when you played on good courts? Could you easily adapt to it?
I that particular thing actually changed my mindset with tennis. I was I it actually helped me with my timing, but
Yeah.
to be frank, with my game, I was rushing too much. I would try to finish points too early, and
Mm.
because of that, I didn't have the right things to stay in the rally because every time two rallies and there's something which happens externally and you miss. So I would try to keep the points short, finish it in like 1-2 shots, and that's kind of screwed with me. It hasn't really helped me on the future store, but with regards to uh, getting the aggressive mindset on court, that has helped me. Like moving in a
It
lot,
has.
going big
Yeah.
on taking my game, going big. With that regards, playing on those kind of courts has helped me.
All right, and two more questions, PC. I think the transition from Nagaraj sir to your brother, entirely your brother, and suddenly with Tarun, it happened in an age where you didn't know the world much as you do now. So how was that change for you? Because RRC was kind of home for you, right? So how was it to
Yeah,
suddenly move away from that environment, move away from your friends, move away from the courts you were seeing right from your childhood, and suddenly you're on a new court. Nobody is around to do fitness, and you're all alone with Tarun or your brother, and your fitness schedule has completely changed. So how was it mentally
yeah.
for you? Could you easily take it, or was it tough?
For me, it was hard for me. I was used to being so comfortable with friends around, training in a group,
Yeah,
training
yeah,
together, and all of a sudden I was all alone because Tarun joined a little later. So I
yeah.
was for a span of close to 6 months. I was training on my own, doing fitness on my own, which was kind of tough. I didn't really have the motivation during that time. And apart from that, when my brother was telling me stuff on the tennis court, I couldn't really act on it and reciprocate. So it that those 6 months were kind of tough for me. I wasn't really understanding. Okay, that I didn't accept the situation
Yeah,
on
yeah,
what
yeah. I
happened.
guess it must have. I can imagine it must have been tough. I would think would have been tough for anybody. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
last
after
question for the day,
when Tarun came in, I felt a lot comfortable and
lot
at
more
least I had
better.
someone to train with, someone to talk to during training
Yeah.
sessions, and it was good.
Okay, and the last question for the day, I think you're one of the fitter guys out there, right? I think you're very fit. You have a very good athletic abilities. Did you ever think or consider of using it to get past the future store? Because I think if you can, grind and just be solid, you can win most of the matches there. Did you ever give it a thought? Or you always wanted to play
Yes,
aggressive
I
because you felt that was the right way?
yeah I was fit, but in the wrong way. I would run 400 runs, do the sprints, but I was fast. But what
Not
really
tennis fit.
happened was I didn't have the court sense, the court positioning sense at that point of time.
Hmm.
So it really affected the way I was moving on court. I was always, even though I felt I am taking command, I was always chasing down balls because of the court positioning. So now I'm slowly understanding that okay, even I am fit, I can use that to my advantage. But apart from that, if I use the court positioning right, if I position myself right on court, I can be much quicker to the ball than I was before, and do a lot more things on court which I never did in the past. So yeah, that's how it is. And yeah,
Okay, and last question that just came to my mind because it's been a while I've been at the futures. So Mahis are
yeah.
saying at both I keep hearing the term maturity. What does he mean though?
Uh, what it is
I
exactly?
keep hearing the term maturity. Can you both explain what it is exactly? Mahi, sir, maturity is, in my words, simply saying, simply accepting that you don't know everything. To give to delegate the decisions to each person's team of each person's expertise. That's maturity. If coach is there to listen to him blindly, if your mom is there to listen to your mom blindly in what she is good at. Now, mom is not good at choosing tournaments, but she is good at saying this guy is bad for you, this guy is good influence for you. So do not debate in those things. If coach says do this, you do this. And to have if you can, I don't know how to exactly put it in words, but to just be more humble and say I don't know for many things and stick to your core team, then that's a lot of maturity in tennis sense. In tennis sense and in life, that you accept that yeah, I can be wrong sometimes, and to accept that other people know more than you. Your close ones, not random opinions. Your close ones, everybody has a close circle of 4 or 5 guys, and to really listen to them and believe in them, then you're already very mature. Then you're taking very less wrong decisions in your life, because when 5 people are working for you, it's tough that something goes very wrong in your life. Whereas when you decide everything, there's a good chance.
For me, maturity solely is related to tennis, not other than tennis. So in tennis, I would define maturity as acting upon what's told without
Correct.
without asking for reasons.
That's what I think it's your answer
Yeah.
is very close to what I said. No, trusting other people that they know better than you when it comes to your core team in tennis.
Yeah.
And also not listening to people you don't have to listen to. That's also one big part of maturity. Just
Yes.
because they are higher ranked than you, or just because they coach some top 100 player, or just because they are a big name, you don't have to listen to them. To say, okay, he is not my coach, and who is my actual coach, and this is who I have to listen to. That's also a big step in maturity.
True. True. And there's one more
At
question for you.
Mukund, that sounds so easy, but why do you think is a major struggle for most of the guys? See, most of the things in life is easy. It's humans who complicate it. Why do you think is a major struggle for most of the guys your age? Because most of the guys my age, they think they know a lot, but they actually don't. They win a few junior tournaments, they beat some big player on his bad day, and they think they know everything. And that's not the case. The world is much bigger than they think it is, and the world is not on Instagram and on Facebook, and the living system is much more complicated. They think they can control emotion, they can control their feelings, they can't control jack shit. So it's just that guys these days, they are not open to learning. They are not open to opinions, because when I was 15, 16, if Bala or Vijay says something even rude, and there was a stage where in my life I was listening to Bala and Vishnu or Vijay, even though I was at a stage to beat them and I had already beaten their best rankings in singles. But still I was listening to them the same way I was listening when I was 14. Even when Vijay says something in Portugal last year, I am already 220, I am already close to playing the slams, which probably they haven't, but I still treat them the same way, and because it's a fact that they know more than me, they've seen more tennis than me, and I don't see juniors these days listening to somebody who is just 7, 8 years older than him, just like that. I don't see that. They read some bullshit topics on Instagram, follow the meme pages, and then come and talk rules everywhere. So that's why.
Yeah, true, very true, and I completely agree with that. I have realized it, I've learned it the hard way. So yes, I completely agree with what
But
you say.
most of the things in life that way is very easy if you actually follow it, no? How tough is it to
Yeah,
be honest? It's just tell what is in your mind, but how many people can do it? Not many. But to do it is very easy,
yeah,
right? To be kind is very easy. It doesn't, you don't lose 1 crore by it, no? Just being kind or being nice to people, it's very easy. It takes the same energy as to be arrogant, but how many people do it? Very less. So
yeah.
the magnitude of difficulty has got nothing to do with the outcome of things.
The the juniors, the and players our age need to be open to listen to the truth which is told to them,
Yeah,
and not
I
blindly
don't, I think many
believe.
of them, they are living in a cloud which is not true. Many
Exactly.
of them are not in reality, and I think, I don't know what Abdul Kalam sir exactly meant by, dream or whoever says, but I think I believe in the life mantra that dreaming is important, but being in reality is more important.
Yeah,
Where you want to go, knowing where you want to go or where you can go or where you have to go, knowing where you are is much more important than the other three things. Where am I now? That's the most important question. Where I can go, where I want to go, that and all is different. Dreaming about Wimbledon is fine, but saying the next morning that, dude, 10 guys your age are already playing Wimbledon, you're not. That only pushes you to work harder. So I think reality is until you reach a stage, yeah, dreaming is fine, but it's 8 hours of sleep and then it's over. What about the other 16 hours when you're actually active?
yeah. True. So that's about it, Mukund.
Yeah, thanks, Rina. Thanks, Mahi and Vijay for being here. And thanks, bro. It was
Thank
very,
you,
lot of
Mukund.
fun to
Thank you
answer your
for doing
questions.
this. It
Yeah,
was
all good.
very
Pleasure.
informative, and whatever you spoke made a lot of sense, and I'm pretty sure it'll help the juniors and whoever's watching this. They can take in whatever you said and work on it.
I hope, I really wish, and to let you know, tonight our group deadline is over, and tomorrow we'll be on a Zoom session with Suresh sir. Since it's 30 guys in the group, it's going to be groups of 10 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 10 go on Monday, 10 go on Wednesday, 10 go on Friday. So in case you're on for tomorrow, I think you might be. One last question to both of you. Want to play psych tonight? Yes, I mean. Chaitanya is asking. So if, yeah, I'll segregate the groups, and if we are on, then we are on at 2 p.m. tomorrow. If not, you are on Wednesday or Friday. All right?
Perfect, perfect, Mukund.
All right, PC.
Thanks a lot.
And thanks for being part of the initiative with the WhatsApp group. Welcome you there,
Yeah,
here. So thanks for coming and hope we have fun. See you.
sure, sure. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I actually missed out Sonamaka's question. How does one go from level 3 to level 4? I think Mahi Anna and Vijayana are the experts in that, and they'll let you know. And thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And I'll be doing a few more live sessions with other professionals as well. So tune in for those. I'll keep you informed. Thanks. Bye.